Hey guys, Hector here, and a little bit over a year ago I wrote a vlog on my website saying is 4K or UHD ultra high definition, is it worth it at that time? Because it had been about a year and a half since its introduction pretty much to the mainstream, so I guess it's been about 3 years since its introduction to the mainstream, and at this point, well, my conclusion in March 2015 was no, it's not worth it. My conclusion now is sort of. So let me explain and see if it applies to you. So is it worth upgrading your TV to a 4K resolution? And in case you don't know, 4K resolution is 3840 pixels by 2160 pixels, which is about 4 times the resolution of 1080p. Like 4 1080p screens on one. And that is not why they call it 4K, because it's 4 times the amount of pixels. It was supposed to be 4K because it's 4,000 pixels horizontally. But although they kind of cut it down to slightly lower than 4,000. But anyway, so a lot of people just call it ultra high definition. So as technology has gone on and as things have become more, prevalent, I guess you can say, 4K has become a little bit more worth it, but you still have to kind of have deep pockets. So I don't think 4K is worth it if your TV is under 40 inches unless it's like right here and it's like a monitor, like a gaming monitor or something. If you have a big TV in a decent sized room, then over 40 inches, 4K is worth it because you can start to see the pixels. Additionally, now the Xbox One S has, which is the upgraded Xbox One kind of, if you want to play 4K games, you can get the new Xbox One S, more money, and your games will upscale to 4K. And it can do 4K Blu-rays. More on 4K Blu-rays in a second. And now the PS4 Pro allows you to upscale games to 4K and stream 4K content, but not play 4K Blu-rays. So still, it's not native 4K support, but upscale 4K support is still something, so meh. And then the latest graphics cards, GPUs for PCs, have been able to do a lot of recent new games at 4K resolutions while still getting around 60 frames per second because they're beast GPUs. But the GPUs cost about as much as a brand new console. So again, if you have deep pockets, you can push out that 4K content to your brand new 4K TV. And then back to the 4K Blu-rays, because I don't think in March of 2015 they even really had 4K Blu-rays. They were kind of talking about it, but then they're like $1,000 for a 4K Blu-ray player or something like that. Prices are going down. There are a lot more 4K Blu-rays out there, not just mastered at 4K Blu-rays, but actual native resolution 4K Blu-rays. So there's a lot more 4K content out there than there was before. And you can stream a lot of 4K video like on YouTube and Netflix and such, but of course the bit rate is chopped down so much to actually stream it that it's it's not even that great. It's best to just get 4K Blu-ray. Even like 1080p Blu-ray is a lot better than streaming 1080p video, and I can actually tell a difference, maybe because I have a pretty small room and so my TV's right there and it's a 40-inch 1080p TV, so that's probably why I can tell a difference. Maybe if you're far back or your eyesight isn't that great or whatever, you probably can't even tell that much of a difference between streaming and actual Blu-rays. But with 4K, with those many pixels, whatever, you can probably tell a difference. And I don't know if the new Nintendo Switch is going to have 4K, but PS4 Pro, upscale 4K, Xbox One S, upscale 4K, the new Xbox One that's coming out next year is going to supposedly have native 4K support, new GPUs, have 4K support, really good 4K, and of course HDMI 2.0 to actually do 4K over HDMI instead of 2 HDMIs or DisplayPort or whatever, because TVs don't usually have DisplayPort, only like monitors do, computer monitors. And so prices on 4K TVs are going down. There's more 4K content out there, and so 4K is starting to become kind of worth it, but you would need to upgrade a lot of things to get that content. So you got to have pretty deep pockets if you think 4K is kind of worth it. You can still watch 1080p content on a 4K TV, and it'll upscale to a decent amount, but of course it won't be perfect. It won't be like native 4K resolution stuff, but it'll be better than like that 480i stuff going on 1080p TV. If people remember that transition, if they're old enough, because time has gone on quite a bit since SD content, seeing a 480i, not even 480p content being blown up to a 1080p screen, it was like, damn, was it really that bad? And then you go back to a 480i TV and you realize, no, really, it wasn't that bad. It's just blowing it up to a 1080p TV just makes it look a hell of a lot worse. So it's not going to be that bad 1080p content on a 4K TV, but it's still not as great as native resolution. So is 4K worth it at this time, end of 2016? Kind of, if you have the money, the deep pockets, and such. And if you do go for a 4K TV, I suggest going with a high dynamic range type stuff, HDR. Again, if you do have the money, go OLED TVs, because those look fantastic. They have super great technology. But I have heard that there is quite a bit of input lag with HDR content, or if you put like the HDR option on and you're trying to game, there's too much input lag to really feel it, you know, because you have to press a button and have that reaction, but with the input lag, there's not that quick of a reaction with HDR content. There you can usually do a gaming mode on TVs, like my TV even has gaming mode, but it shuts off a lot of that special filtering stuff to make the input lag very minimal. So positives and negatives. That's why a lot of people just buy gaming monitors, and I thought about getting a gaming monitor with 4K and low input lag and high resolution refresh rate, but those are only like 28 inches wide or diagonal. If I want to get a 4K thing, I want it to be like 60 inches. But so I'm probably not going to get 4K for a while, but I would like it. But you know, I'm sure everybody would like a lot more money to just spend on a bunch of stuff. Yeah. So I guess that's it. End of the video. Conclusion is 4K worth it, sort of, if you have the money. I already said the conclusion, so whatevs. Thumbs up this video if you liked it or if you appreciated me doing it. And you can leave a comment telling me what you think about 4K content. If you have 4K TV, 4K monitor, whatever. How much money have you spent? Have you gotten the Xbox One S, PlayStation 4 Pro, ultra high definition Blu-rays, anything like that? Do you enjoy it? Do you feel like it really wasn't worth it? Always leave a comment telling me what you think. And subscribe to my channel for more gaming related stuff and tech related stuff. This is kind of both because it kind of covered both. So yeah, you can see more of that hopefully soon. See you guys later.